Question. I'm sure, obviously, you know, you have Instagram, you have social media. I'm sure you have caught like the banter that's been going back and forth between Spence and Crawford, like calling.
I've seen a little bit about it. I haven't really been paying attention, but I've seen a little bit about it.
Totally. I mean, I guess you kind of really got a lot going on.
Tesla's coming over on the 24th. Finally.
This month?
Yeah. Motherfuckers took forever, dude. We've been doing this shit for fucking like 3-4 months now, trying to get them to come over.
Longer, since we went to that. Remember?
That was a year and a half ago.
Wait, what? Tesla?
That's what we
started, but we didn't start anything. A couple months ago, they were supposed to start like looking at it. I asked them to come over. They made me send them pictures of all like the panels and everything. But I keep explaining to them, it's a big property. It's got 2 different meters. Like if it was 2 addresses, but it's not. It's only 1. Oh, but we need this, we need that. But just fucking come over here and check it out for yourself. For the longest time, fool. And they finally said, right now I just got a text that they're gonna come like on the 24th, do a survey of the property and set up.
Nice.
That's not bad.
You get 1 Tesla or 2?
No, I need a bunch of. I need like 4.
Wait. Are you talking about Tesla, like the cars?
Yeah.
You...
We're getting like 4 cars for the camp. For
Let's gas, Rainbow.
Let's gas. I drive.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying I think we should have a company car for pound. I do a lot of driving, Mikey.
I'm getting an SUV for me, the little truck, the little SUV that they got.
And then a company car for Rainbow.
And then I'm gonna do 2 of the little ones, the smaller ones, and then 1 of the big ones for me.
That's awesome. So they're coming on board as a sponsor then, more or less, obviously.
Like that.
Well, yeah, I know.
Just playing with you.
You're such a jerk. I got so excited. Yeah, that's probably the first time I've ever called you a name.
No,
We've been friends now for about.
I'm getting the solar power with them for the ranch.
So this is what Mikey does.
Fuck yeah.
So you're not getting any cars?
Maybe.
Did you see? I legit got excited.
I've been telling him for like.
I do drive a lot.
Well, we. I'm not gonna talk about it on camera, but no, there was a, you know how Robert has like a deal? We could have gotten him a deal, but he just wasn't really, he was like, because he already has so many cars. He already has every car he wants, you know, he just takes care of it on his own. But a Tesla, oof, just to whip around in, that would be nice.
I think so.
Yeah, it's a nice luxury car. Okay, so you definitely just kind of blew me off with that question I asked you.
I forgot.
I asked you about. You got distracted. I know with Spence and Crawford. What's your breakdown? What's your breakdown of it?
I haven't been following up with it, but I've seen a little bit about it.
Like if they were to step into the ring, a lot of people are saying, you know what, they could tell from when Spence just, you know, he was on TV recently. Everyone's like, well, you could tell he's not like himself. You can tell like he's, you know. I
didn't even see it, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see the interview. I know I heard a lot of people saying that he's probably not the same, that he doesn't sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's still going through recovery, bro. He's still fucking, you know, it was a serious accident. Let him fucking rest. Let him fucking recover. Let him get some work. I think he probably got some dental work or something. Maybe that's why he can't speak the way he used to. I don't know. I didn't see it. I'm
sure in itself it's probably incredibly traumatic. Correct me if I'm wrong. To get thrown from your car, to see all that footage, to know
it was a fucking, you know, serious accident. It's no joke. So luckily he's alive, and you know, he seems like he's doing well. But we just have to wait and let him take his time.
So let's say after his full recovery, he's back. How would you say between him and Crawford?
I want to see Spence back first to see if the accident didn't affect him. You know, for his boxing. You know, it's hard to say right now because we haven't seen him in the ring. What if he really isn't gonna be the same? You know,
he doesn't move the same.
He doesn't have the same reflexes, or maybe he can't take a punch as well. You know, there's a lot of questions still. So when he comes back, I would like to see him back first before discussing the possibility of him fighting anybody in the serious threat.
Like of that caliber.
Yeah. I still don't feel that fight will ever happen, just because of the different alliances with different promotional companies and different network affiliations and all that. I think that's a fight that's very difficult to produce.
So it's kind of one of those fights again that you've spoken of before. What's the point of even really talking about it?
I know Crawford would love to fight because he's a fighter. I know Spence would fucking take the fight too.
Oh yeah, no, they've been hitting the media platforms hard.
It's not just about what they want. You know, there's other interests involved, promotional interests, network interests that they got to look after their own business first. And when a fight between two fighters in different promotional companies, different management teams, and network, you know, when fights like that get done, one of the biggest reasons they get done is because there's so much money involved that they have to kind of like, everybody says, fuck it, we got to do it. Let's share, but we'll still make a lot of money. For example, Wilder Fury, you know, they're gonna be doing ESPN and Fox, I believe, for this upcoming show on the 20-something of February.
It's the week before your fight.
So Wilder is over here fighting under PBC, you know, I think it'll be a Fox or Showtime, what is it, I don't know. But it's a different network. Wilder is top ranked now for the last year or so, and he's doing ESPN. But the first fight was such an intriguing fight, and I'm sure they expect a big turnout for the second one. All that money being involved, the network and the promotional companies are willing to work together to make it happen. When you have Crawford, who unfortunately doesn't sell that well, Spence on his own doesn't sell that well, it doesn't seem like there's enough interest in the promotional companies to make that fight happen, because there's not a whole lot of money involved. I'm sure the fight will be a great fight, but on paper it doesn't show the finances.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense yet. Maybe in the future, maybe after another victory or two, after we see Spence back and he's completely healthy and
recovered.
Yeah, then maybe. But I mean, until they pick up their numbers on their own, it's harder to make those kind of fights. You had Pacquiao Mayweather for 6 years in the making. And again, different affiliations, different networks, different promotional companies makes things a lot more difficult to get done, right? But there was just so much money involved that they finally came to an agreement. They decided to, you know, put their differences to the side and get the fight done. But that's because there's so much money. When there's not that much money, they're making money on their own. The promotional companies make very good money having each individual fighter on their own. There's no need for them to face each other. You know?
No, it makes sense. I was curious what your breakdown, sorry, just gonna go right into some boxing really fast. What your breakdown is of Jojo Diaz with his upcoming fight.
Farmer?
Yeah.
That's a good fight. It's a pretty even fight. I'm not very impressed on Tim Farmer. So I think Jojo has a very good chance of winning. But Tim Farmer is just one of those tricky, sneaky kind of fighters. You know, he's got good defense, so he can make the fights complicated. I think Jojo should win, but it's a pretty even fight. I think Jojo probably stronger, and with the combination of aggressive style, I think he should be able to win. But like I said, it can be a little tricky with Farmer because he's very defensive and he can kind of like move around a lot and just complicates things. But I don't think it'll be enough to win, just to complicate things. I think Jojo should win.
Okay.